my athletic and academic career at the University of Alabama. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide!
Well, that was the scene on Wednesday evening when the #1 interior offensive lineman in the entire country for the class of 2024 made his official commitment. And guess what? He's from right here in East Texas. It's Lindale's own Casey Poe, joined by him right now. Casey, well, we saw it. Alabama Crimson Tide is where you'll be spending the next 4 years after your time here at Lindale. What went into that decision? Why Alabama?
Yeah, that was a huge decision. You know, it took a long time for me to make that decision. I had probably two and a half years of really getting heavily recruited. So there's a lot of relationships that go into that. There are a lot of people I've talked to, a lot of, coaches I've met, coaches' wives I've met. I've met so many families that I really feel like I've made a huge bond with. But really when it boiled down, I just had to pray a lot for one. I had to talk to my family. We had to figure out what my goals were. And as soon as I said it, I could just feel the love and support that they had for me. Everyone just kind of went crazy, but also just kind of the vibes everyone gave off. You could just feel like the emotion and just the love and the passion they have for me, because the moment keeps replaying in my mind of the first time I'm going to have that jersey on. I'm going to come off after a game, after we win, and just be able to hug my mom and dad, and they're going to see me in that uniform that I've been dreaming of being in, they've been dreaming of seeing me in, and it's just going to be an overwhelming experience because that's what I've always grown up, looking to. I know everyone loved me for that decision. Everyone's definitely going to support me, and I feel like it was just a great moment in my life.
And we saw the top 7, fantastic list of schools on there. How was the recruiting process as a whole, and how tough was it to, come to that final decision after you said, years of being recruited?
Yeah, the recruiting process was crazy, There was some weekends where I would sleep in a car more than I would sleep in my own bed because we were just traveling everywhere. But it was so exciting. I got to see so many different schools that, I grew up watching as a kid. I was playing NCAA on whatever console, and I was dreaming of one day just maybe it was step on that field. And there I was, and the head coach talked to me and wanted me to come play for his program. But just in that and having the family with me and the memories we got to be able to make, like there are memories we have that I'll be telling my kids when I'm 80 that we'll just be going over and Grandpa will be sharing stories. But I'll always have those, and that's really what made the recruiting process so much fun. But in the end, it was a long process. It was very difficult to make the decision, but I think God led me to the right choice.
And the legend himself, Nick Saban, how cool is it to kind of meet him during this whole process, and now to know that you'll be able to play for Coach Saban as well?
Yeah, that was really cool. So whenever I was growing up, I've always been an Alabama fan. My grandparents were recruited by Bear Bryant back in the day, and so my dad had a poster of Bear Bryant in his room. It was signed and got passed down to me, so I just assumed I was supposed to be an Alabama fan. And so I always grew up watching Coach Saban in the interviews and talking to people and watching him in the games. Yeah, Coach Saban just kind of has that legacy of being a great coach. He's coached so many great players and brought them up, not only be great players, but great men.
We know that Lindale has one of the best offensive lines in the entire state, if not the entire country. What does it mean for you to be a part of that and to be able to carry on that legacy going forward?
Yeah, that was everything. That offensive line, the class that we have, like you said, I think it was the best in the nation. Like, we were so tight. There was, we were all brothers, so there were, of course, times we would bicker and fight and all that stuff. But in the end of the day, if I needed to call any one of those guys up at any time, I know I could. We played our hearts out every single practice, every single game. We were the hardest workers, and it was like a well-oiled machine. Will Hutchins that just went and played for Sam Houston, Trey Maserati, just Corey Watts, Ethan Heller, just a whole list of guys that were there with me the whole time, just kind of like showing me the ropes and showing me how offensive linemen's mindset has to be and how hard the work has to be. It was an amazing time. I wish that those guys could play with me forever, but time moves on, and now this new class that we have coming up, we get to go and beat that class. We get to go be the new best offensive line in the nation.
And before Alabama, of course, you have your senior season here at Lindale. You're going to be protecting Clint Thurman, especially for you and the team. What are those goals, those aspirations that you guys are looking for this last year?
Yeah, we say it every single Thursday here. It's the last day of our performance course, our summer workouts, and we have Stars of the Week. It's the best players throughout the entire week who put in the most dedication and effort, and they're always asked, what is your team goal? And let's go back to the state championship. That's what we want to do. We want to go back, not only go back, we want to win. We want to be the best. We want to be #1.